All right, welcome in everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Yeah, definitely. Always ready to uncover some hidden gems.
Our listeners work in cybersecurity and they send us these really fascinating stories. Today we're looking at one that really stood out.
A unique career path. One that I think everyone in this field, honestly anyone really, can take something away from.
Absolutely. It's the story of Jamie Casello. And what really grabbed us wasn't just the career changes, but the fact that he had these other big passions going on at the same time.
Yeah, and how those seemingly unrelated things might have actually given him a different perspective, in cybersecurity.
So what we've got is Jamie's own account of his journey, laid out in detail. And it starts back in the late 90s, where the internet's just starting to take off. Huge potential, new opportunities popping up everywhere.
Right, and Jamie, he's fresh out of college. Physiology degree, by the way. Not exactly computer science.
Nope, not at all. But he sees what's happening, this whole internet thing, and decides to jump in.
And get this, he focuses on getting a really specific certification, the MCSE, Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. That was like the golden ticket back then.
It was. Everyone wanted that. So he goes all in. 3 months, intensive training, 5 tough Microsoft exams, and boom, he's MCSE certified.
Smart move, because that certification pretty much lands him a job right away at an ISP in Virginia called UUNet.
And he gets to work immediately, hands-on, racking servers, configuring operating systems, the real nitty-gritty stuff that builds the internet, which, for those of you in cybersecurity, is super important to understand what you're actually protecting.
Absolutely, getting that foundational knowledge. And this is just the beginning for him. So UUNet gets acquired by WorldCom, a company that's on this massive data center expansion kick.
And they picked Jamie to head out to San Francisco, set up their first, flagship data center in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, talk about a trial by fire.
Right. But he adapts quickly. Sees that Cisco equipment is everywhere, so what does he do?
He goes out and gets his Cisco Certified Network Associate Certification, the CCNA. I mean, talk about always staying ahead of the curve. That's a crucial mindset in cybersecurity, right?
Big time. Things change so fast. You got to be learning constantly. And that's Jamie. He doesn't just stay in San Francisco. He actually volunteers to go up to Seattle and build another data center for WorldCom.
And his role just keeps expanding. In Seattle, he's doing everything. Hiring staff, building the physical infrastructure, installing racks, configuring Juniper and Cisco routers and switches, even deploying hundreds of Microsoft servers for customer websites.
So he's getting this incredibly well-rounded experience, really understanding how the internet works from the ground up. But then things get rocky.
Yeah, the whole Enron scandal explodes. And WorldCom, its founder Bernie Ebbers, gets caught up in this massive accounting fraud.
And it hits the company hard. Bankruptcy, stock plummets. Jamie, like many others, loses a chunk of savings. It was a brutal reminder that even in tech, things can be incredibly volatile.
For sure, a reminder of the risks and vulnerabilities that are always out there, which is something that cybersecurity professionals are constantly grappling with.
Exactly. So after all this, Jamie decides to step back from the tech world for a bit.
And he does something completely different, something he'd always been passionate about: Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, yeah. He goes all the way to Thailand to train and compete.
Not just a vacation, right? This is serious, intense training, immersed in a whole new culture, pushing himself physically and mentally.
And it pays off. He ends up headlining a Muay Thai fight card in Chiang Mai. That's dedication right there.
Talk about resilience. Facing your opponent in the ring, having to adapt in the moment. There's definitely a mental toughness that comes with that could translate to any field, really.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just the fighting. He explored Thailand and Laos on a Kawasaki motorcycle.
Engaging with the local culture, eating all the food. I mean, even finding some, shall we say, creative ways to cross the Mekong River.
Sounds like an adventure. But eventually, after about 18 months, he comes back to San Francisco, ready to dive back into tech.
But this time, he starts his own company, a tech support business focused on helping small businesses.
Which makes sense, right? He's got all this hands-on experience.
Exactly. And even then, you can see he's already thinking about security, setting up routers, firewalls, VPNs, spam filters for his clients.
And here's where things get even more interesting. So at the same time he's running this tech support business, he's also a Beachbody coach.
Like P90X.
Yep, P90X and other programs. For over 15 years, he's running fitness boot camps, building this whole online fitness community. It's like he's got this entrepreneurial spirit that just keeps branching out.
It shows he's not afraid to pursue different passions, to connect with people in different ways. I mean, not everyone can rock both a server room and a fitness studio.
Right. And eventually, That side hustle, as they say, becomes his main thing. His online fitness business, Beach Ready Body, starts taking off.
So he decides to make a big move, leaves the tech support behind, and heads to Hawaii.
Living the dream, surfing, scuba diving, even skydiving. But then, remember those algorithm updates Google rolled out, Panda and Penguin?
Oh yeah, those shook up the online world big time. A lot of businesses felt the impact, and Jamie's was one of them. Website traffic takes a nosedive.
Proof that you always have to be adapting, right? Even when you think you've got things figured out, the digital landscape can shift under your feet.
100%. You got to be learning and evolving all the time. So facing this new challenge, Jamie decides to come back to the tech industry.
He joins a startup called ImageSpan as a network administrator and technical advisor. And then he even spends a bit of time at AWS in the Pacific Northwest.
Gaining valuable experience with the leading cloud platform, understanding cloud security, the architecture.
Right. But then, family reasons bring him to Maine. He takes a job at WEX, that's W-E-X, in asset management.
So still in the tech world, but a different sector. And this is where the cybersecurity chapter really begins.
It does. And you know what? It starts with a chance encounter during the pandemic. Jamie's on site at WEX distributing computers, and he meets the Senior Vice President, Chief Information Security Officer, Michael Leonhurth.
Fate, perhaps?
Maybe. So Jamie, being Jamie, does some digging. Some open source intelligence, or OSINT, research on Michael.
Which is essentially gathering and analyzing publicly available information. It's a key skill in cybersecurity for identifying potential threats.
And he sees that Michael has the CISSP certification, the Certified Information Systems Security Professional. That's a big deal in the field.
Definitely. The gold standard for cybersecurity professionals.
And that sparks something in Jamie. He decides he wants to get into cybersecurity himself. And get this, in just 6 months, he buckles down, studies hard, and earns both the Security Plus certification and the CISSP.
Talk about focused determination, and it pays off. Jamie lands a position on WEX's Health Benefits Information Security team.
He's officially transitioned into cybersecurity.
But it's not all work and no play, right? He's still got those other passions. Cooking, rescuing dogs, going to live music shows, even playing guitar.
Exactly. It's like this whole well-rounded life. So I think what we can take away from Jamie's story is that a career path isn't always a straight line. It can twist and turn, take unexpected detours.
Absolutely. And those seemingly unrelated experiences, the Muay Thai, the online fitness business, they all contribute to who he is and how he approaches his work.
For our listeners in cybersecurity, it's like, think about your own experiences. Those things you do outside of work, those passions you have, they might be more valuable to your career than you realize.
They could be giving you a unique perspective, a different set of skills that you can bring to cybersecurity.
And that brings us to our final thought. Take some time to think about your own journey, those things that make you, you. How might they actually be your secret weapons in cybersecurity?
Agradeço a todos pela presença.